Hola mi gente! Today, I come to you with a lesson that's going to help you make sense of how we're going to be learning Spanish together. As you start working on our course, you will notice that we at MiaPrep Spanish explain things and work with you in a certain way so that you can build your Spanish skills. But you might be wondering, why are we teaching you Spanish like that? Good question. To answer it, today I would like you to come to the teaching side of things for a moment and see the reasoning behind the tasks that we ask you to do. I promise you that after seeing the course from this perspective, you will have a better understanding of the learning side of things, and it will make your journey throughout this course more enjoyable. First, I'm going to walk you through the different elements that you will find in a lesson. As I do that, I'm also going to tell you why we ask you to do the activities that you do and give you some learning strategies for you to use. Are you ready? ¡Vámonos! In each Spanish lesson, you will find a teaching video, followed by practice questions, a PDF with learning activities, and finally, an assessment. Let's start with the teaching video. The video is similar to the one you're watching right now, except that you will see me talking and showing things to you. In this part of the lesson, I will introduce most of the content, which includes the lesson's topic, the vocabulary, and the grammar structures that make it possible for you to say something meaningful in Spanish. I say most of the content because additional vocabulary and grammar explanations will be included in the PDF as a way to extend what you learn in the video. One particular thing that you will see in our videos, usually at the beginning, is a part where you see and hear me speaking in Spanish without translating anything for you. But why would I do that if you don't speak Spanish yet? Another good question. Well, that's because I would like you to be immersed in the language, just for a moment, as you would in the real world. This immersion is a very effective way for you to learn to speak, read, write, and develop your ear for Spanish, because your brain makes an extra effort to transfer all of these ideas and concepts, not just the words, from one language to another. But don't panic. I got you. During this immersion moment, you will also see images, props, and text in Spanish appear to help you understand what I'm saying. And as you move through the lesson, I will offer more context and support. It may not make much sense at first, but all I ask is that you open your mind and your ears and just take in the language. Like, breathe in Spanish, and then little by little you'll be like, hey, this isn't so bad. Now, let's talk about translating. This is a favorite thing to do for many Spanish learners. It gives them instant gratification to know the English meaning for every single word, and it feels like it helps a lot. But let me tell you, translating every single word is not always necessary or even helpful, because it takes your attention away from Spanish, as your eye automatically looks for what it can understand in English. But you already know English. We want you to focus on Spanish. So, we will use translation only when necessary. The reason why I say you don't need it all the time is because I'm going to be using a lot of Spanish words that look and sound similar to the English ones. And they even have the same meaning. These are called cognates. For example, if you see and hear that una estudiante muy inteligente presenta el examen de matemáticas y obtiene resultados excelentes, I'm pretty sure you got at least part of what the message was. Let's look at it again. I was telling you that a very intelligent student presents, maybe not sure about that, but anyways, an exam in math and obtains excellent results. So you might not know that presenta here means takes, but you got the gist of the whole sentence, right? I know you're going to love cognates as much as I do. One more thing I'm going to ask you to do during brief moments in the teaching video is to repeat with me or after me. This is one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation, because you're training your tongue to produce these new sounds in Spanish. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it might be kind of tricky for your tongue at first, but you just need to try. Once you watch the teaching video, you will complete a practice exercise. most of the practice will be in multiple choice format, and you are likely already familiar with that because of our website. This part is pretty straightforward, so let's see the next element. After the practice, you will work on a variety of learning activities in the PDF, including vocabulary practice, listening, reading, and writing tasks. So, with that in mind, here are some simple tips to help you along the way. For listening activities, don't worry if you don't understand everything that you hear. Just try to get the gist of what is being said. It also helps that most of these activities tell you to pause and repeat as much as needed. So, take advantage of that. Same thing for reading comprehension. Don't try to translate every single word. Instead, use context clues and cognates, words that are related in English and in Spanish, for understanding. If you look closely at these words, you'll realize that you understand more than you think. Gotta love cognates, right? And you got help for writing too. The writing activities at this level of Spanish have a simple structure and require a lot of imitation or adaptation. This means that you will create a new text based on a model or example of the one that you've already worked on before. Many of these activities also come with a checklist to make sure that you include all the information that you need. And you can always use the list of essential vocabulary and language chunks at the end of the PDF to extend your writing. The final part of a lesson is completing an assessment, which is similar to the practice questions in that it's multiple choice. In this assessment, some questions might be the same as in the practice ones, while others will be new. However, all the questions will be about what you've learned applied in a slightly different way. With all this information, I also mean to tell you that learning a second language is an emotional process. Therefore, it's totally fine and normal to feel excitement, confusion, frustration, and then more excitement all at the same time, or at different points in your learning journey. Know that we will provide support while you try to figure things out, but also don't forget to be patient and kind with yourself. There you have it. Now you know the various elements working in a lesson, the why of the activities you do in a course, and some learning strategies to set you up for success. You are now ready to move on to the next lesson, where we're going to put all of this into play. See you in next class. Until then, ciao! Nos vemos! Hey.